General, weight and balance. What is the purpose of aircraft weight and balance control? The primary purpose is safety. How is the moment of an item of equipment obtained when computing aircraft weight and balance? Weight times arm. The forward center of gravity limit of an aircraft is exceeded by illustration of several items of equipment in the engine compartment. How can this problem be corrected or compensated for without removing or changing any of the newly installed equipment? Ballast is used in an aircraft to obtain the desired center of gravity balance. What is the datum of an aircraft and what is its function? The datum is an imaginary vertical plane from which all horizontal measurements are taken for balance purposes. What is tare weight and how is it handled when making weight and balance calculations? Tare weight is the weight of all extra items such as jacks, blocks, and chocks on the weighing scale platform and is subtracted from total weight. How is the arm of an item of equipment obtained when computing aircraft weight and balance? The arm of each item of equipment is usually included in the specifications for the aircraft or may be obtained by actual measurement. How would you determine the empty weight and empty weight center of gravity of an aircraft if all the weight and balance records are missing? The aircraft must be weighed and a new set of weight and balance records must be computed and compiled. How can you determine the effect of a new item of equipment on the aircraft weight and balance without weighing the aircraft? The effect can be determined by basic computations if the weight and balance records are up to date. What should be done concerning fuel when weighing an aircraft for weight and balance purposes? With the aircraft in a level altitude, drain the fuel system until empty. How is a positive plus moment obtained aft of the datum? By adding weight. How is a negative minus moment obtained aft of the datum? By removing weight. How is a positive plus moment obtained forward of the datum? By removing weight. How is a negative minus moment obtained forward of the datum? By adding weight. What should be done with equipment normally carried in an aircraft but not permanently installed, such as tool kits, tie-down stakes, first aid kits, etc., when weighing an aircraft for weight and balance purposes? All equipment not permanently installed should be removed. What is an aircraft loading graph? A method for determining load distribution to keep the weight and operating center of gravity within the approved range. What is meant by the term residual fuel? The fuel remaining in the tanks, lines, and engine after draining. What is meant by the term residual oil? The oil remaining in the tank, lines, and engine after draining. What is ballast and why is it used in aircraft? Ballast is any weight added or removed to obtain a desired center of gravity. Name one common leveling method used in weight and balance procedures. Use a spirit level at the manufacturer's designated level points or use a built-in leveling scale. And plumb bob. What is the difference between fixed wing and helicopter center of gravity ranges? Most helicopters have a more restricted center of gravity range. Why is aircraft category a factor when computing weight and balance? Aircraft certificated in both normal and utility categories may have tow useful loads due to different gross weights. What does the term mean aerodynamic chord, Mach, refer to? The Mach is the average chord or distance from the leading edge to the trailing edge of an airfoil, usually a wing, as measured in cross section. What are two ways commonly used to show center of gravity and or center of gravity range in different aircraft? Inches from the datum and percent of Mach. Why is accurate, up-to-date, empty weight center of gravity data so important? All other weight and balance calculations are based on EWCG, empty weight center of gravity, basically. List at least 5 items concerning weight and balance that would be listed on the TCDS, Type Certificate Data Sheets. The answer includes CG ranges, which is center of gravity ranges, maximum weight, leveling means, number of seats and locations, baggage capacity and arm, fuel capacity and arm, datum location, engine HP, oil capacity and arm, amount of fuel in empty weight and arm, amount of oil in empty weight and arm. So as you can see, there's a lot of them. Just says list at least 5. So that shouldn't be a problem. Describe a plumb bob and its use. A heavy metal object, cylinder or cone shaped with a sharp point at one end, used to determine a spot that is perpendicular to the point the plumb bob is hanging from. What is the recommended markings for permanent ballast? In red paint with the words permanent ballast, do not remove. Before a helicopter is weighed, it must be leveled in what directions? Longitudinally and laterally. Explain the performance of a rearward adverse loaded center of gravity check. Here's a long answer. During an aft adverse loaded center of gravity check, all useful load items behind the aft center of gravity limit are loaded, and all useful load items in front of the aft center of gravity limit are left empty. If the fuel tank is located forward of the aft CT limit, minimum fuel will be shown. Calculate center of gravity to determine whether it falls within limits.